Hello friends, welcome back. So today we are going to see how to calculate national income. Let's get started. Methods of estimating national income. There are three methods of estimating national income. First is value added method, second income method, and last is expenditure method. Production method. It refers to the method of calculating national income which takes into account the actual contribution of each producing unit in the production process in an economy. Value added refers to the difference between the total value of output of a firm and the value of intermediate consumption. Value added is equal to value of output minus intermediate consumption. Value added is a measure of contribution of a production unit to domestic product. It is in fact the addition to the value of raw material by a firm by virtue of its production activities. It is the contribution of an enterprise to the current flow of goods and services. Production method. In this method, we first find out gross value added at market price in each sector and then take their sum to arrive at GDP at market price. Sum total of GVA at market price by all the sectors is equal to GDP at market price. GVA at market price is equal to gross value of output at market price minus intermediate consumption. Value of output is equal to sales plus change in stock. Then we make adjustment to arrive at national income or NNP at factor cost. GDP at market price minus consumption of fixed capital is equal to NDP at market price. NDP at market price minus indirect tax plus subsidies is equal to NDP at factor cost. NDP at factor cost plus NFIA is equal to NNP at factor cost. Problem of double counting. It means counting the value of a product more than once in the estimation of national income. The problem of double counting arises when the value of intermediate goods is counted in the estimation of national income along with the value of final goods and services. A commodity passes through various stages of production before reaching the final stage. When value of output is taken at each stage, it is likely to include cost of inputs more than once. This leads to the problem of double counting. It results in the overestimation of national income. Firm produces raw cotton and sells it for rupees 1000 to firm B. Firm B converts it into cotton yarn and sells it for rupees 1500 to firm C. Firm C manufactures cotton cloths and sells it for rupees 2200 to firm D. Firm D produces garments and sells them for rupees 3500 to final consumers. The total value of all these transactions or gross output is rupees 8200. On the contrary, value of final goods which the economy has produced is rupees 3500. Thus, while calculating national income, if we take into account rupees 8200, it will be a case of double counting and duplication. Actually, only rupees 3500 should be counted since the economy has produced final goods worth rupees 3500 and not worth rupees 800, 8200. It is therefore essential that the element of double counting erupting in final product approach should be avoided. How to avoid double counting? Theoretically, we may say that there may be two alternative ways of avoiding double counting, namely final product approach and value added approach. Precaution to be taken while estimating national income using value added methods. Value of intermediate goods should not be included in the estimation of national income because value of these goods is already included in the value of final goods. If they are included again, it will lead to double counting. On account production means output produced by production units for self-consumption and investment should be included, like output produced by farmers for self-consumption, inputted value of production of goods for self-consumption should be included as they contribute to the current output. These goods are like those produced for the market. They are not simply sold because of their need by the producer themselves. Imputed rent of the owner occupied houses should be included in national income because all the houses have rental value, no matter they are self occupied or rented one. Precautions to be taken while estimating national income using value added method. Imputed value of free services produced by general government and private non-profit institutions serving household must be taken into account. If it is not done, it will lead to underestimation of total output, consequently of national income. Production of service for self-consumption like service of housewife, kitchen, gardening, etc. are not included in the national income since it is difficult to measure their market value. These services are produced and consumed at home and never enter the marketplace and are termed as non-market transactions. Output of only newly produced goods, like goods produced in the current year, should be included in the total output of that year. Sale and purchase of second hand goods and property should not be included because they were included in the year in which they were produced. They do not add to the current flow of goods and services. However, any commission or brokerage on sale or purchase of such goods will be included in the national income as it is a productive service. Income distribution method. In this method, we first estimate factor incomes paid out to the owners of factors of production by the various industrial sectors. The sum of such factor payments equals net value added at factor cost by the sector. Then we take sum total of NVA at factor cost by all the sectors to arrive at NDP at factor cost. The components of NDP at factor costs are compensation of employees, rent and royalty, interest is equal to operating surplus and profits. Mixed income of self-employed. Components of income method. System of National Accounts 1993, a joint publication of the United Nations and the World Bank, has elaborated the following components of income method. Compensation of employees. It is defined as the total remuneration in cash or in kind payable by an enterprise to an employee in return for work done by the latter during the accounting period. The main components of compensation of employees are wages and salaries in cash, include daily, weekly, or monthly, etc. Payments in cash, including allowances such as house rent, conveyance allowances for travel to and from work, bounces, etc. Wages and salary in kind include goods and services provided by the employees to employees for satisfaction of wants of employees and their families, like rent, free accommodation, vehicles for personal use, imputed interest of interest, free loans, etc. Social Security contribution by the employers include contribution of employers towards social security schemes like casualty insurance, provident fund, gratuity and pension provision, etc., which benefit employees. Rent is defined as the amount receivable by a landlord from a tenant for the use of land. Royalty is defined as the amount receivable by the landlord for granting the leasing right of subsoil assets. Interest is defined as the amount payable by production unit to the owners of financial assets in the production unit. The production unit uses these assets for production and in turn makes interest payment imputed or actual. Profit is a residual factor payment by the production unit to the owners of the production unit. It is a reward to the entrepreneur for the contribution to the production of the goods and services. It has three components: corporate tax, dividend, and retained earnings or undistributed profit. Profit is equal to corporation tax plus dividends plus retained earnings. Mixed income of self-employed minus these are cases where total factors payment is estimable but not its different components. This problem arises mainly in case of self-employed problem like doctors, chartered accountants, consultants, etc. and unincorporated enterprise like retail traders, small shopkeeper, etc. This factor payment is popularly called mixed income of the self-employed. It is used for any income that has elements of more than one type of factor income. Mixed income arises for productive services of self-employed persons whose income includes wages, rent, interest and profit, and these elements cannot be separated from each other. NDP at factor cost is equal to compensation of employees plus rent and royalty plus interest plus profit plus mixed income. Operating surplus is defined as the sum of rent and royalty, interest and profit. In that case, NDP at factor cost is equal to compensation of employees plus operating surplus plus mixed income of self-employed. Once we estimate NDP at factor cost, we can find NNP at factor cost or national income by adding NFIA to it. NNP at factor cost is equal to NDP at factor cost plus NFIA. Precaution to be taken while estimating national income using income method. National income includes only factor payments like payments for the services rendered to the productions unit by the owners of factors. Any payment for which no services is rendered is called a transfer and not a production activity. Gifts, donations, charities, etc. are main examples. Since transfer are not a reward for production activity, it should not be included in national income. Capital gain refers to the income from the sale of the second-hand goods like old cars, old house, machinery, building, etc. These transactions are not a current production activity of the owners of these goods. They do not add to the current flow of goods and services in the economy. So, any income arising to the owners of such things is not a factor income, hence not included. Income arising from the sale of financial assets like shares, bonds, government securities, etc., will not be included as these transactions are not related to the production of goods and services. Any profit arising from the sale of these is capital gain, which is not treated as factor payments. These financial assets are mere paper claims and involve a change in title only. Imputed value of services provided by owners of production units will be included. Imputed value of owner occupied houses, interest on capital, production for self consumption, etc., will be included as these are productive activities and to the flow of goods and services. Windfall gains like income from lotteries, horse race, etc., are not included as there is no productive activity connected with them. Gross domestic capital formation is equal to gross domestic fixed capital formation plus change in stocks. GDP at market price is equal to private final consumption expenditure plus government final consumption expenditure plus gross domestic capital formation plus net exports. So NNP is equal to GDP minus consumption of fixed capital minus indirect tax plus subsidies plus NFIA. Expenditure method. This method measures national income as sum total of final expenditures incurred by all four sectors of the economy. Final expenditures are expenditure on goods and services for consumption and investment. This sum equals GDP at market price. These final expenditures are on the output produced by production units located within the economic territory of the country. Main components. Private final consumption expenditure. This is the sum of final consumption expenditure by household and private non-profit institution serving household. Government final consumption expenditure. This equals the imputed value of services produced and provided by general government free to the people. Gross domestic capital formation. This equals the expenditure incurred on acquiring goods for investment by production units located within the domestic territory. Gross domestic capital formation is equal to gross domestic fixed capital formation plus change in stocks. Net exports. This is the difference between export and imports of goods and services. GDP-MP is calculated as GDP-MP is equal to private final consumption expenditure plus government final consumption expenditure plus gross domestic capital formation plus net exports. By making the usual adjustment, we can arrive at national income. NNPFC is equal to GDP MP minus consumption of fixed capital minus indirect tax plus subsidies plus NFIA. Precaution to be taken while estimating national income using expenditure method. By definition, the method includes only final expenditure like expenditure on consumption and investment. Intermediate expenditure is already a part of final expenditures. So, including intermediate expenditure like that on raw material etc. will mean double counting. it may lead to overestimation of national income. Therefore, proper identification of expenditure on intermediate products is necessary. Expenditure on second-hand goods should not be included as it does not lead to any addition to the current flow of goods and services. They have already been accounted during the period of their production. They are not part of current production. However, any commission or brokerage paid in such transaction are treated as final expenditure because it is a payment for the services purchased. Expenditure on financial assets in the form of expenditure on buying shares, bonds, debentures, government securities, etc. will not be included as they are simply paper claims. It only leads to transfer of money from one person or institution to another person or institution. But any brokerage or services charged or paid in buying financial assets is treated as expenditure on buying services. Inputted expenditure on account output like self-consumed output by farmers etc. must be counted as final expenditure and hence included self-consumed services of owner occupied houses, services got free from general government and non-profit making institution serving household or other example, they will be included as they are productive service. A transfer payment is one against which no goods or service is rendered. For example, payment of gifts, charities, donation, scholarship, taxes, old age pension, unemployment allowances, etc. Such an expenditure is not concerned with production activity, hence not included. Difference between nominal national income and real national income. Nominal national income refers to the money value of all final goods and services produced by the normal residents of a country in an accounting year and measured at current year prices, whereas real national income refers to the money value of all final goods and services produced by the normal resident of a country in an accounting year and measured at constant price or the prices of base year. Nominal national income is affected by both change in price and quantity, whereas real national income is affected by change in quantity only. Nominal national income is not a good measure of economic growth of a country as it is affected by both change in physical output as well as price, whereas real national income is a true indicator of economic growth of a country. Difference between nominal GDP and real GDP. Nominal GDP refers to the market value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country in a year and measured at current year prices, whereas real GDP refers to the market value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country in a year and measured at constant prices or the prices of base year. Nominal GDP. The value of nominal GDP changes when either the physical output or prices changes or both change simultaneously, whereas real GDP changes when only the volume of physical output changes. Nominal GDP is not a good measure of economic growth of a country as it is affected by both change in physical output as well as price, whereas real GDP is a better measure of economic growth of a country as it is affected by change in physical output only. It reflects the change in physical quantity of goods and services over the years. Nominal GDP is not useful for making periodic comparison in the physical output of goods and services over different years, whereas real GDP is a better measure to make periodic comparison in the physical output of goods and services over different years. Determination of nominal GDP and real GDP. Nominal GDP and real GDP can be determined in the following manner. Real GDP is equal to nominal GDP into 100 upon price index, or nominal GDP is equal to real GDP into price index upon 100. These are some important formulas for solving numericals. That's all for today. In my next video, we are going to see some numericals and questions from previous year's papers. If you did not subscribe my channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Thank you.